Good to go? Huh? I do, it's up there. Okay, here, we're going to get started, everyone. Thank you. We'd like to welcome everyone to our workshop this morning, or this afternoon, this evening. And we'd like to excuse Councilperson Euler, she's on vacation. So, good for her. We're going to go ahead and get started with our menu, but before we start, do we have any declaration of conflict of interest on anything we're discussing tonight? Okay, hearing none, we'll go ahead and we're going to move on to council reports right now. Let's go ahead and start at this end.
Oh, starting at this end, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Go get it.
Oh, yeah, you
My dude's here. Okay.
go first. And I'll go last. And you can show me how they're done.
How they're done? I can't say that I know how they're done. Okay, my council report is, I work with two departments. One is Public Works. They are a very, very busy group right now. They have a lot of things on tabs that will be starting with the water project, the aquifer, the water line widening, Rocket Road. And we discussed a little bit about doing the cemetery at the same time again. And so I think he's gonna get some bids to you, but those guys are working really hard. They're trying to be proactive, so they're not quite so reactive. And I like where they're going. Now for Planning Commission. I kind of slacked on that one this month. I mean, I talked to him enough, I really shouldn't. There are a lot of things going on, but one, I'm not even gonna elaborate at this point.
Okay.
But we do have some things going on.
Great.
You're up.
Councilperson Jex, your turn.
Okay, I'm with the, work with the police department. We started the new dispatch yesterday. It's going well. Other than that, just squeezing blood from a turnip.
Okay.
So we're, well, and I'll put it out here. We're still down positions. My understanding there was the chief relinquished a position to be filled for a year for a budgetary shortfall last year. And wondering when that year is up and when the green light to fill that spot in addition to the spot. And I understand there's a lot in the works with seeing how things proceed with Garland and things like that, and that plays a role, but those are the highlights.
And I think to be clear on that, what that was to get the officers up to the wage that they needed to be. He eliminated that position so that we could take care of our officers.
Is that coming into the next budget?
I don't know when the year comes up, but it should be part of the next budget cycle.
Okay.
Yeah,
He's requested it on his budget, I believe, another FTE.
Good.
great. Anything else?
Not that I can think of right now.
Okay, thank you.
I spent a lot of time with Mayor working on the website. There's awesome progress there. Can't wait to roll that out and show that to everybody. I think it's gonna give the public the ability to have a lot of feedback. And then I spent a week eating turkey legs and churros and standing in lines waiting for princesses. So I was checked out. I went all in on dad mode. So I can't say
Good
that
for
I
you.
did a lot outside of that.
Good.
Yep. And we'll be hearing from Zach a lot today. So
I spent the last week in Arizona myself, but the fire department's just doing their thing. The chief and somebody's back there getting the ambulance, the new ambulance. They flew out right now. I haven't seen it yet, so I don't think they're back. But other than that, the dispatch, the people I talked to didn't have any complaints yet for the first 2 days. So the ice spy and everything was working good. So that's all I have.
Great. I don't really have much more than everything we'll be talking about tonight, so we'll move forward then. Okay, we have some presentations, a lot of them. We would like to, if you are okay with this, we would like to move the one on the very bottom, I, up and combine it with A so that Zach can just kind of present both together. That would make his presentation a little bit easier, so. What's that?
Item L.
Item L. Okay, thank you. No, you're right. Council, is that okay if we do that?
Love it.
Okay, so with that, Mr. Zach Lefevre, you are welcome to come up and do your presentation, please.
Hello, council. I have some
Seat over there, Zach.
items here I'd like to share. Sorry, paper. I don't want it on that. But if you would like to see some of these things, so Tremont City, our identity that we got from our brand when we redid our branding 4 years ago was the City of Connections. And as the City of Connections, last year, we saw the need with all the growth in our community that we needed to update the master plan for parks and recreation, trails and open space. And so that's what we, in line with our brand, that's kind of where we've gone. What I brought before you is some storyboards asking for more public input that we will have at our next public information session or input session, where we'll have a parks, trails, open space showcase, presenting what we've come up with so far on the master plan to get more public input. And so these are those boards that we'll have there. We've worked with Jeff, he's been instrumental in helping with us, as well as Sam, Brent from VCBO, working on the multi-sport complex. He'll be there to present also and answer any questions. So we'll take the feedback from these to continue updating the master plan before we present a final version to you, the council, and the public with that. So we're still in the information gathering phase and defining our parks, what the parks would be used for, what programs, what events, what all those things, as well as changes that people would like. So that's kind of letter L, I guess. Any questions on that before we move into pickleball?
A slow reader.
No, that's all right. These are the
Just carry on.
These are the storyboards for, so in here are some of the designs for the parks that we've heard from the public from various already opportunities to talk with them through surveys, including the USU Wellness Survey, which we will be part again. Dr. Flint and I over at USU are working together to get that done. And it should go live at the end of this month. So we'll have that survey going open as well. So,
And as I gather, part of your information gathering at this event is to get the public there, have them look at this. This isn't to say this is what we're doing,
Correct.
but it's to get input, right, on what direction.
yep, this is what we've gathered so far from the public and the information that we've heard, plus the needs of the city from the Parks and Recreation standpoint. And the programs that people are involved in and want to see. So the pressures from the growth and different things that we've seen in programs, right? So all that combined has brought us to here. Then they'll come and they'll see as an introduction, this is kind of what we've come up with so far. Tell us more what are we missing? Where are we at? What are we doing right, kind of thing. So that's what the showcase will be for on March 4th. So we'd like to invite you guys to come, and I guess we haven't officially done that yet, but we like to have you guys come and be involved and potentially cook hot dogs and hamburgers or something like that and be there, intermingling with the public as well. So so with that introduction to that, John, you wanna join us?
You can sit right over there.
Oh, there's another chair. I was gonna grab you.
Welcome, John.
Thank you.
So in that packet, there is this page, but so you don't have to look all the way through it, I got some of those printed out. And this is a park called Stokes Park that we own the ground for, and this is dedicated. We don't have a park over on the west end of town. And that's where a ton of growth has happened with townhomes behind the McDonald's area already. And so their nearest park is close to a mile away, walking around. So Cynthia, do you know where that is to pull this up? If you'll pull that up on the screen. So this is going to be kind of the overflow park, and potentially where youth soccer, youth lacrosse programs in the future will migrate to as open space for those kind of things. Jenny Stevens Park, the potential there is to add 2 more ball diamonds to build a full complex. Originally, when they were building that was kind of the plan, but they ran out of money, so they only built the 2 diamonds. So filling that out and then moving the other field sports here is the potential of what we're seeing right now. So if you see those 2 long things right there are some storage units we own on the left side of that, down to the interstate, and then off ramp and then up. So if you kind of can see that vision there. With this being more of a sport park, with the moving of the field sports here, we've been trying to build pickleball courts I've been here 13 years, over 13 years, and I came from St. George. So it's been at least 13 years since I got here. I brought pickleball up. We started a league that very next year that we've been trying to get pickleball in our community. Luckily, we have the fairgrounds and 6 courts there that we're able to use for leagues. But the fairgrounds is so overused actually, that we often get bumped out of that facility, and we can only host 90 participants each session. And you can see there's a huge representative here of people that want pickleball in our community. And so I think they're here to show the support, and Joan has graciously offered to help write grant your daughter-in-law, is that?
So I've delegated that to Karen Ellsworth, but my daughter-in-law does grants for junior achievement. And so she said that she's the one who gave me the ideas of the places that we could get grants, and she's willing to help write the grants. She writes huge grants for junior achievement. So that's where because I've kind of been floundering trying to figure out how to get pickleball courts. And so she's going to help. So hopefully we're successful at getting one.
Yep. So a little bit of history with our program. I started it 12 years ago, would have been. And from our program, we grew the interest of other surrounding communities in Cache Valley, in Box Elder County, and others, right? So they've gone and created their own facilities, but we still haven't been able to do ours. Not that we just haven't been able to do it. We haven't had the land, the ground to be able to do that, because we don't own much ground. We don't have much leverage and negotiating power because we just don't own any land to be able to do that. So a few years ago, they were going to work with the hospital, but the council back then decided not to build on a ground that we did not own. That could change now, but now we have this park that we do own that we're planning for. On this sheet, it shows 8 pickleball courts, which is great for a tournament. But we would like to add 4 more and have 12 pickleball courts there as we move forward. So
How many acres is that over there?
that's Jeff, was that 11 acre park?
Yeah.
8 to 11.
Where
somewhere,
would
yeah.
where would 4 more go? Right above the other 2?
Yes, so there's the 2, there's like a little pavilion there that pavilion would turn sideways, elongate a little bit and add 2 more to above that. to the north of that. So then you're able to have your tournaments and have warm-up courts for people in the tournaments and drop-in courts also for people to participate if they're not in the tournament. So it looks like as we continue to get this feedback and complete the design, we already have some of the engineering work done for this. So funding is our biggest hurdle right now. As we move forward for grants and things, we'll need to work out the funding portion with the council on what we can't come up with the grants and try to make this happen. What was that?
How much is it per court and like for the,
How this is built currently, it's a $7 million park.
can I write you a check? Can I write you a check?
Per court.
Just don't cash it till.
No, that's not the pickleball courts. Nope.
And as you can see,
There's
this
a lot of other stuff
This is a pretty basic park. There's parks being built down in Utah County that are over $23 million. And that used to be a full rec center, state-of-the-art rec center when Provo did theirs, right? So that's just how much inflation has hurt everything. When we're talking about the parking lot, the underground infrastructure, all that. So getting a $1 million grant is gonna help us along the way though. If we can get the parking lot in and we can get a $1 million grant, that'll help us get 6-ish is my estimate, pickleball courts, which will get us in that vicinity of started and rolling. So we do have some park impact fees that we can put toward this. But we have a lot of needs because we have other parks as well that are $3 to $4 million parks, and they're just basic parks also. So that's kind of where we're at on our park and recreation facilities and the reality of where we're at. Right now, our level of service is at 2.5, which means it's 2.5 acres per 1,000 resident. The national standard for a city of our size is a 13 acres per 1,000 residents. But here in the West, it's a little different because it's not as populated and centralized. So our goal here is a 5.5 acres. So we would still need to buy land, park space with the land that we have, including, and then add another 70 acres, Jeff, was that correct? Ish, on top of that park space to get us to that 5.5. So, but yeah, you can see the support for pickleball and what's here, and this is just a small fraction of the pickleball players we have in the community that would benefit from this. So.
So I just wanted, I heard about pickleball but didn't play it that much till 7 years ago. I went to Brigham because there was nowhere here. And my friend was there and taught me, and I'm like, I'm not driving to Brigham every single day to play pickleball. So then I didn't know about plus I'm a cheapskate and I'm not gonna pay $3 to play. So, we looked into using the church, got permission to use the church, and every day at the church, there are 2 games going on, 3 hours a day. And people go there to play. Obviously, we would rather be outside playing. I cannot, everywhere I go, there are pickleball courts, and I am like, what is wrong with Tremont? And I don't know why this has not been a priority. Number one, it benefits our mental health, our physical health, and our emotional health. We have one player who lives with depression, who doesn't function, even physically. We got her out and playing, and she's amazingly much better than she was. And all of these people, a lot of them go to they're not cheap like me, they go with that. I didn't know about it. And then 4 years ago, as part of the Tremont Women's Civic League, I got put in charge of fundraising by default because I hate fundraising. But one of the things I really wanted to do was a pickleball tournament. And I wanted to raise funds for a pickleball court in Tremont. What we've raised is pennies to what it's gonna cost. But at least it shows the effort. And at the tournament, the thing that's so amazing is the comradeship. It's not a matter of winning, it's not a matter of losing. We have kids that have moved away from Tremont and come back and play. It's like a reunion, it's connections. And that's what it's all about. And I think that's something that has really been missing in Tremont, is our connections. Like, I used to love to go to the breakfast or to some of the dinners, but I go and people aren't there that it's like they're not there anymore. And it's not fun to go. But like these tournaments or going to play at the courts, we connect and we have fun. And there are a lot of people here that didn't even know each other. And the same, I'm sure, with, so it's honestly something we need for our
Now
community.
you're frenemies, right?
We are not that kind of competitive. Well, there's a few though. But no, we seriously are a tight-knit group. And I know the ones also at the fairgrounds are very tight-knit. And when they come to the tournament, it is like so much fun. And I promise you that if we get these courts, well, we need them. Everywhere I go, they have them. I go to St. George, I go to Jackson Hole, I go to Ivans. Little town of Santa Clara has 12 courts, we need them. And I don't know why Tremont hasn't had them. And I want to thank Zach because I just didn't know how to do this. I've been trying for 4 years. Finally, I talked to Brett and I'm like, what do I need to do? And he said, get a committee together. So I'm like, okay. So I called 4 people and then she sent me the grant stuff. And then we met with Zach and Brett and we need it, you guys. Tremont City needs it. And we've needed it for a long time. We need these soccer fields. We need biking trails. We need places for people to get out and exercise and be together. So thank you for your time. And all of you pickleball people, stand up and say hip, hip, hurrah. All right. And there are so many more.
I'll see you in the kitchen.
No, you don't want to be in the kitchen. Any questions?
No, hope it works out.
Well, thanks for your support and listening. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Zach.
All right.
And they're out.
Okay, now we're going to turn the time over to Matt Geddes and from Squire and Company, and they're going to go through the audit 2025 financial statement.
Let me caffeine up.
Super exciting. Yes, it needs to turn.
I really thought they were all here for me. Sad to see that they're not. But grateful for the city and the opportunity that we have to report. Ultimately, Squire and Company has been engaged to perform an audit of the financial statements and of state compliance of Tremont and City for the year ended June 30th, 2025. And ultimately, we issue an opinion or our reports on those audits. So just to highlight a couple pages, which are primarily our reports. So there on the first page with the Squire letterhead, we performed an audit of the financial statements. Those financial statements present the activities and the balances of the city as of and for the year ended June 30th, 2025. The city obviously keeps their accounting records, follows internal controls, and produces these financial reports with the help of Curtis Roberts, an outside accountant. And our opinion is that the financial statements present fairly in all material respects the financial position of the city. And so as a council or as management, what does that mean in non-auditor language? What that means is you can reasonably rely on the financial statements to make decisions, that they present the balances and the activities of the city as of and for the year ended June 30th, 2025. There's a lot of pages in here. Happy to go over any financial information that you want, but let me just highlight the other reports that we issue. Because you are a government, so this is near the very back of the report, because you're a government, in addition to following generally accepted auditing standards, we're required to follow government auditing standards. On page 94, we issue a report in accordance with government auditing standards. What government auditing standards require, as the auditor, we're required to evaluate your internal controls over financial reporting and compliance. And if we identify significant deficiencies or material weaknesses in those internal controls, we would be required to report these to the governing body. Sometimes I like to describe those in non-auditor terms. Material weaknesses are things that would keep the governing body awake at night. Significant deficiencies are things that should keep management awake at night. This report does not identify any material weaknesses or significant deficiencies in financial reporting or compliance related to Tremont City. The final report that we issue is in accordance with the State Compliance Audit Guide. They're on page 96. The Office of the Utah State Auditor issues an audit guide that has specific state compliance requirements that the city is required to follow. There's way more than what's in this audit guide. These are just the ones that they want us to specifically perform audit procedures on. And we issue an opinion on compliance, and that is that the city complied in all material respects with the compliance requirements outlined. You can kind of see in that middle section the type of compliance areas that we looked at. So overall, a very boring report from an auditor, but that's kind of what you want. Any questions on our report or any specific financial information you desire us to go over about the city? With none, just again, oh, please,
So
Mayor.
If after reading through this and any of the council has questions on any of this, what would be their proper procedure for having those questions answered?
So there's a couple things that can be done. One, the financial statements are ultimately the city's, and so the first point of contact would probably be Lindsay. As Lindsay, if she's uncertain, then Curtis, your outside consultant, can help, and we're always happy to help. But ultimately, our responsibility is to perform an audit of the information, not to produce the information. So the city, in conjunction with Curtis Roberts, your outside consultant, has helped produce those financial statements. We're very familiar with them, though, too, so you can always reach out to us. And Lindsay would have our contact information to help with that. If you had limited time to look at the whole book, there is a management's discussion and analysis, sometimes known as an executive summary of the financial statements. That's the 2 or 3 or 5 pages that I would encourage you to look at.
Okay.
Are there ever times when there's an adjustment at the end of the year to clean up something that throughout the year, the reports that we went off monthly,
Almost always.
always?
And that's not to speak about Tremont City, but that is a normal part of the audit process. Many of those, because you have an outside consultant, Curtis is helping with many of those closing adjustments that are recorded.
Like depreciation adjustments, things of that nature, or are they actual?
Sometimes it's expense classification, sometimes it's revenue classification, sometimes it's period. Does this transaction belong in the old year or in the new year? So a variety of things might come up. Because you're a government, depreciation's a little bit unique. Some of your funds record depreciation, some of them don't. But I would say we did not identify any non-routine closing entries that were recorded. Does that make sense? So as you close your books each year, each month and then each year, there's normal reconciling things that happen. If you think about your personal finances, sometimes when I don't know that anybody reconciles anymore, but people used to reconcile checking accounts, and you'd identify, I hadn't recorded this transaction yet, or I recorded it in a different place than it should be. Those routine things are normal and have been done.
Thank you. This is a lot. I'm not going to stay up tonight and read it, Phil.
Just those 5 pages, he said.
It is a lot.
Yes, but it's good.
And please know that if the council ever desired to do a little 5, 10, 15-minute training, we'd be happy to help provide that. We do provide that to some councils and some governments of what role does the council play in oversight, and can help highlight areas that rather than digesting all of it, we could highlight some areas that would help you fulfill your responsibilities.
Yeah, I'd like to do
It's
that.
interesting.
Can I ask one
would
question on
do
that?
Please.
Hypothetically, what is the biggest thing that you see councils do or in the budgets that is a problem? Like, what's the most egregious thing most often? Like, if you had to tell us.
From a council,
Yeah,
not paying
avoid
attention.
this.
Not paying attention. And so it's really saying, okay, what areas should I pay attention to from a monitoring component, right? And so Lindsay and her team are doing a lot of things all day long. Your responsibility is not to look at everything, but to understand from a monitoring control what oversight is appropriate, and then how to execute that oversight appropriately. So budgets is a natural way in which the council can help oversee the finances, but then how do you monitor those budgets? How are those budgets set? And understanding some of that,
Yeah, we're gonna need training.
some of those things. And Lindsay, just feel free to reach out and coordinate a time that works, that maybe a working session or whatever works for the council. We're happy to help with that.
And do you have a template on what those items are or something like that so that when you come, we can?
We will provide you all the tools. So if you coordinate with Lindsay on what is, from your perspective, what's desired, and then from our perspective, we know that there's some things that would be helpful, even if you don't highlight those things. So like, hey, what type of template might you want us to look at monthly? We could help develop a tool set
Okay,
for that.
that'd be great.
Just from last year's accounting discussions, I think the funds, how government fund accounting works, I think the council should really have an understanding of that.
Yeah.
And operational expenses versus capital, and why, I think we were battling through a lot of that last year. I think us having a lot of clarity on those would be really helpful.
Well, I think it'd eliminate a lot of unnecessary
Absolutely.
I think so.
monitoring. Monitoring that's not really monitoring, you know.
Yeah, government accounting is set up in such a way to ensure accountability of different types of resources, capital resources, non-capital resources. You have a whole bunch of different funds. I don't remember how many the city has, 8, 10, 12 different funds that you have to help with accountability. But we could teach you about each one of those things and why it's used and how it's used within the city
How they work together.
and how they work or don't work together.
Right.
Then a cheat sheet afterwards though.
We could put together some very high-level summaries that would help you fulfill the responsibilities.
That would be-
We could go down into all the details you want to, but we could keep it high
Well,
level.
let's keep it,
Yeah.
let's keep it up here.
Like, my heart just skipped a beat as you guys want to learn more, right?
This is not my strong point. I can spend money like a drunken sailor. But, so yeah, this would be good.
So Lindsay, just coordinate, maybe accumulate the questions that might be had, and then let's just talk about timing. My family lives up here, so it gives me an excuse to come up and take them to dinner anyway, so happy to come up.
This will be good. We need it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For the record, we had accounting classes at Utah State together, and he's a way better student than I ever was.
I don't know if that's true. In accounting, probably.
Thank you.
Thank you
Drive
for your
safe.
time.
Okay, next is Carl and Andrew are going to talk to us a little bit about implementing a transportation fee.
And Chris. We're gonna invite Chris to join us.
Oh, yeah, they've actually got the next 4 agenda items.
Oh, good.
But this one is going to be a tough discussion. You got it. Sorry. You gotta start with a good dad joke. Okay.
I just now got it.
Maybe we should explain what the acronym is first and then give the joke.
All right, this is a presentation we've been working on for a while. Some of you have been involved in some of these discussions with us, so we just wanted an opportunity to talk to all the council together about this and kind of the reasoning why. So Cynthia, if you want to move on. So a TUF is transportation utility fee, which is often called a TUF. On April 1st, 2025, the City Council approved Resolution 2511, which established a special revenue fund for roads. At the time, the city manager directed the Public Works Department to research a transportation utility fee. Basically, the transportation utility fee considers city roads as its own utility, and it provides funding for road maintenance and replacement through utility billing. The TUF associates a trip value to each utility account and categorizes the utility according to that type of account, which is residential, multifamily, commercial, industrial, et cetera. There's a few more in there that we'll talk about. Each account will pay their portion based off the number of trips that they generate. Next. You want to talk about that one, or you want me to?
So in the past, as best as I can tell, going back to 2019 at least, it looked like the city was budgeting $330,000 per year on road improvements. Whether those were chip seal or pulverize and repave projects. I'm not certain how some of the other capital type projects were funded, such as 10th North expansion, that kind of thing. You probably know.
I don't know where the money
Okay.
is allocated from.
But we'll,
Transportation capacity fund?
well, out of all of the public works, all of the streets funding sources, 330,000 is the designated amount. It was very consistent that that's what we were spending annually on road improvement projects. And we treated them as a capital facilities project. Now, if Curtis was here, he would be like, well, of course it's a capital facilities project. It's worth more than $5,000 and it depreciates. Okay. But what I mean when I say that is that it was designated as like a one-time improvement using funds without a 30,000 foot view plan to look at everything holistically and go through and say, okay, let's analyze everything all together here. We just it was kind of like whack-a-mole. We would be like, yeah, we know that road's pretty crappy, so hit that one. And then the next year, well, we're gonna do that, wham, there's the next one, but the other one pops up as soon as you hit that one. So, and that's just the name of our game anyways, but this approach was very effective at staying within budget, but it did fail to account for and fund maintenance of all city roads, as I've described that. So, next slide, please.
We've analyzed our roads a lot, and we have approximately 50 miles of city-owned streets in Tremont and City. That does not count like Main Street and the UDOT and county roads. That's just the city-owned streets. It is recommended to chip seal roads every 7 years and repave every 28-ish years. A chip seal costs an average of about $3.25 per square yard, where a repave costs between $19 and $27 depending on the method used. To follow the above guidelines, the average annual maintenance cost would be around $1.3 million under our current circumstances, the current amount of roads and those recommendations above. Public Works uses software called iWorks for a work order and a work management software program. iWorks also offers a pavement management application that we have not utilized up to this point. This last fall, Public Works hired iWorks to enter all city streets into the database and give the streets basically a condition, a remaining service life value. They drove every street with a camera, and it recorded their path, and we have ability to view those. It broke the roads up into segments. So all those city street segments have now been entered into our database, and we have the ability to view the remaining service life values and create maintenance plans for those. They also, after they entered all that, they did a evaluation on our roads and assigned them a condition, the remaining service life. 50% of our city streets have a remaining service life value of 6 years or below, and 80% of our streets have a remaining service life value of 10 years or below. Here's just a snippet of the map and kind of a table, a graph showing the remaining service life on those street segments. It's very color oriented, and you can see that it's scattered. But like I mentioned, the 10 years and below make up 80% of our city-owned streets. You can go to the next one. I just drove a few of the streets that had a remaining service life of 0 and took a few quick pictures of those. That's 1000 North by UDOT, and that's 400 North there. And then there are 2 sections of 100 East. I believe the one was about 700 North and the other one was about 400 North. You can just see the potholes and all the alligator cracks that are forming in those street segments. This is what Chris is here for. We're gonna let him talk about the software and how this kind of happens.
Ooh, the exciting part. The nerdy part. So you guys have all heard the term ERU or ERC from me before. It's an equivalent residential unit, so we equate everything to a single-family home. And most of these numbers come from this Institute of Transportation Engineers. They say that an average home generates 9.1 trips, in a car per day. So we equate everything to 9.1 trips per day for one ERU. And in general, of course, homes are 1 ERU. Apartments generate about 2/3 of that. So it's 6.21. Churches and schools kind of are based on our own judgment, congregation, number of trips counted, that kind of thing. The technical part of this, the commercial and industrial can be difficult to judge. The IETE has this website that, in the graph, shown in the graphic there, where we base trips based on square footage of buildings and then the type of use. So we use the website to input, or the tool, it's just a tool on their website that we pay for, but we input the square footage of the roof. We had somebody measure those roofs and then input the type of business or type of activity that was at that site, and it generates an estimate for transportation trips, for number of trips, which is then divided by 9.1 to calculate equivalent ERUs for each commercial and industrial use. So there's your nerdy part. I could get into more detail, but I think you not be interested in that. So.
Jeff is. So based off our utility accounts and those different categories that Chris talked about, these are the averages that were generated. So this would be the average monthly cost by account type. All the homes are $9.10. Same with townhomes. It varies with commercial, industrial, churches, and then schools wasn't totaled on that spreadsheet, so I just put 0. I don't know if we got around to that one or not,
That's
but
a discussion on whether we would charge schools or not. It's a taxpayer-funded entity already.
so that's the monthly cost if, based off the criteria that we've explained. And go to the next one, please, Cynthia. So the recommended path forward, Public Works desires to follow the road maintenance and replacement recommendations from Jones and Associates. Previously, Public Works has not had planning or funding in place for routine pavement management and replacement and maintenance. With our new iWork pavement management tool, we have a method to inventory roads, track pavement conditions, and plan for ongoing road maintenance and replacement. But additional funding is required to follow the recommended pavement maintenance and replacement schedules. So Public Works is proposing to the City Council and the City Manager to implement a TUF as the recommended funding solution for pavement maintenance and replacement. And that's the slide.
What kind of money does that generate?
That would generate the 1.3 million annually.
One thing I suggested with the guys when I met with them this week, round it to a dollar amount rather than $9.10, $18.50. it's gonna be easier for people. I don't do the cent thing. That to me is annoying. So that's why I threw that out there. But I do like them being proactive with these roads because, are you making fun?
No, I did another dumb pun.
He's a
I'm
pun.
sorry.
It's a pun. He's punny.
Dad joke.
I'd like them being proactive. We have not been even reactive in the past. And so we need to get on a schedule that we are proactive. So after visiting with you on Monday, we went for a road trip.
Did you?
There are some roads that are crying. And for safety reasons, and look, I've already told you I'm a tightwad. I hate partying with my money. I hate giving money. It gets under my fingernails. But I think we need to be proactive. We have kicked the can, ran over the can, forgot the can.
Well, I'll tell you, I think I mean, how many car repairs have happened from hitting a massive pothole? I mean, I know
Dude, I had
we've
to
had
replace a
some,
rim.
and that's more expensive than the $120 a year. So, just a thought.
I appreciate the time you put in it, and Chris, you had the hard part. You had to- But I think it's something like I said, I hate spending money, but I think it's something we really need to talk about, consider, and they need help down there.
I'm actually surprised to hear you say that.
Dang right. So am I. My
No, it's
husband
more
doesn't have a
surprising.
problem spending. I am, yeah.
One of the problems is some of those roads that Andrew showed, they're what we call alligator, where the pavement's broken up. The chip seal doesn't fix that at all. Those need to be replaced.
So the 330,000 that we've been allocating, where would that go? Was this deflated by that amount? Or would we, is that
Reallocate.
also gonna get gobbled up somewhere in the budget? Cause I don't wanna do more than is necessary just because. Cause a tough is technically a tax in a different format, right? And people are already burdened, so I just wanna make sure we're not just doing it because we can and call it a tough, right? But that we're easing the burden as much as we can, but also solving the problem of our roads. And so just at 330, what are we gonna do there?
So we've talked about that, and that's where we talked about we need to look at the budget a little more and understand where the money comes from for these capital projects. Because there will still be a need for these road widening projects and these big capital facility projects on our roads, and the TUF does not account for those. So, there's a number of things that could be done, but we need to better understand how to fund those if we did implement something like this.
And Bo, sorry, part of your question is, and we didn't share like what our overall, we have about 3 revenue sources on the revenue side of streets funding. And then obviously there's about, 40 different, the money goes out, expense categories, and capital projects, we've steadily left at 330,000. So that's a portion of that. So the rest of that goes, not this year, obviously, to plowing, to other street maintenance, sidewalks, our employees, and the street department also takes care of the cemetery, also takes care of the facilities, different things like that. But, so that's kind of the cream that we scraped off the top and said, that's how much money we know we have to put towards actual road maintenance projects. And so anything that we can get above and beyond that, anything, we've already got all those other budget categories set. Anything that we get on top of that will go to road maintenance. And then to answer your question a little better, is there some wiggle room in that 1.3? Maybe, but right now we're only able to budget about 25% of what we need to on an annual basis to take care of roads. And that doesn't even include those road expansion projects like what we've done on 10th North, what we're doing right now on Rocket Road, that kind of thing. So
Is that 330 being drawn from a public works account, or is it from the general fund?
in the past, it was general fund, but it is no longer.
The 330?
Because they were in the general fund.
Last,
So is it,
It's in its own special revenue fund now.
that was in that first slide that we said
Right.
back in April. You
well,
guys
I know that was
moved.
established, but the 330 is automatically coming from the general fund and going into that
Part of
account.
the annual
Not anymore.
Okay.
No,
Then
Am I wrong?
No, I'm trying to think, it's,
Is that
Answer my question.
you
then I-
create your own revenue.
right?
Funding your.
And I think the council understood the problem back in April and understood Public Works is self-funded. Let's separate that out of the general fund and let's fund our infrastructure.
Well, I think your question raises a larger question that might be outside of this discussion, right? That is general fund and taxation and budget and how much is getting allocated. But it is, the TUF is a mechanism that it makes the revenue stable and make sure that roads get replaced. And I love the proactive approach. But the same thing stands true in what you're doing right now with this. We need to do with the general fund and all the assets, the purchases that come out of that fund, so that we have that 5 to 10 year roadmap for those assets. So they're intercorrelated, but they're separate. So.
To be continued.
Okay.
It was a lot of information. I appreciate it.
And what we're doing is we're just being proactive in these presentations too, because we want the council to be up in front on everything, and we want the public to hear what's going on. So we're just trying to get everything out so that everyone's in the know. Okay, next one.
Thank you.
Thank you. You guys can stay and sit by me if you want.
I'll sit by you
Or
for
you
the,
can leave.
wait for the next one.
Okay. I get to talk about cardboard for a minute, 5 minutes, actually. I think most people here know we've made some changes where we've been receiving green waste over at the Public Works Building. We've moved all that over to the composting facility. We've got a lot of feedback on that. Like everyone else, we wish that the composting facility was next door to us as well. It would make things a lot easier, but it isn't. So, the cardboard though, I don't understand the history of the cardboard. The cardboard right now that we're taking, goes and gets put into the compost. And it's just really not a great, it is a compostable material, but it's not a great one. It doesn't break down easily. We can only have all of the material out on the compost facility for 12 months, and then it's gotta be gone. And we do a great job, Dusty and his guys, they do a fantastic job of taking our solid waste, blending it with the green waste from the solid waste from the treatment plant, blending it with the green waste and curing it and creating compost. And it's highly desired. It's a great thing. It helps. The only reason why we do that is to get rid of our solid waste. The other alternative would be to landfill it, and that would be very expensive. But I just felt like this is a city council decision. I don't know the history of why we are taking the cardboard. I'm happy to do whatever the city council wants, but I don't enjoy putting the cardboard into our compost. It's just, it's a mess. And it doesn't break down easily, quickly enough. It's not like we have a nice machine out there where we're tossing it in and it shreds it and turns it into nice compost type material. It's very strange to me that we compost that. I think there is some history of taking cardboard from and putting it in dumpsters or something in the past. When, maybe when, because I think we used to have dumpsters here. And then at some point, we got rid of those. And then at some point, we said, hey, let's just put it in the green waste. And we know too that we get cardboard from everywhere. It's not just Tremont residents. I would say 50% or less. I mean, everyone buys packages from Amazon. Everyone gets cardboard, you know. And there's a recycling issue there. Things have changed. I mean, I've had Lakeshore Products reach out to me wondering if we would want to take their cardboard. And I was like, well, thanks for calling and asking. We're not actively trying to collect it. So they had to find an alternative.
Does anybody collect it? Really, that's,
Not so much anymore because it's not,
nobody's paying for it.
yeah, it really gets landfilled a lot.
So who pays to have that hauled out to wherever it goes? Is that Econo Waste, or do you guys pull the trailer out yourself, or
We do.
the city?
Hmm.
That would be something we could save money on. But I was telling Carl the other day, I've gone down there a couple of times and used it, you know?
I use it all the time.
No,
But
every
it's
time
okay.
I've gone down, there's always been boxes with styrofoam in it. So they're now trying to take care of cardboard, but yet they need to go to the dump or wherever to get rid of the styrofoam. To me, it is like a lot more work, and they could really be using their time wisely in another area. That's my 2 bits on it.
Yeah, I don't think we ought to be in the cardboard business. If we're not using it actively, then we're not in it. My
I think
opinion.
part of it was the misconception that, like, I thought cardboard was essential for compost, and so, like, Wood Dude runs to the trailer all the time, if that's not the case.
I mean, ultimately, it could be, I mean,
But it's not an essential ingredient to,
it just makes the process harder and messier.
I didn't know that.
So
And-
what you're asking is, what would you like the council to do? Give you support in dropping the program?
Well, what's the background? What's the philosophy behind taking it in the first place? That's why this is a city council level decision to me.
As long as mine can go in.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, it is a pain to get rid of cardboard,
Sure.
but if we shouldn't be in the business. It's not a thing we have to do to provide a service for, in my opinion.
I think even in communities where they recycle, the recycling materials no longer go to a buyer, they're just landfilled as well.
Where would it go? How would people?
Well, they used, everybody used to buy it. I mean,
Put it in your
Rupp's had a
dumpster, put it in
facility
your
there.
garbage can.
Recycle it, can't you, in our recycle cans?
Yeah, and then it'll just go to the landfill.
Landfill anyway.
Just separates it from everything
We're
else.
offering the way to get rid of it already through the recycling program, but
Blue cans.
Blue can.
And when that's full, you got the trash you got the black can for the overflow.
We fill our blue can faster than our other ones.
See, if there's blue recycling cans, why are you getting cardboard at the
It
composting?
doesn't come from in town, I'm telling you. We see all the addresses on the boxes when you're supposed to
probably
put them in the,
You probably get the big stuff too,
Dumpster.
that isn't easy to put
I
in a blue
take my
can.
label off.
well, the people in Pleasant View and Willard don't, so. Anyways,
Well, I think.
this is not the biggest deal in the world, but it's,
Yeah, I mean,
I think it's a mess. When it
Makes
fills
a
up,
mess.
it's a mess down there, the wind blowing
Yeah.
and
Yeah, it is.
if we're not using it, if it's not a benefit, my opinion is we're out of the business.
I'm good with that.
yeah.
I noticed on a social media comment, someone frustrated with the thought, and I wonder how many people are sitting in your shoes wondering, not knowing what happens with it and that it's not a benefit. And I wonder if we shouldn't take a little bit of time and maybe 2 or 3 weeks, get Zach to get a little information going out to the public, so they know that this is,
Yeah.
it's not
The
beneficial
poll?
to us.
I went down there. and the
Is
trailer
that a
was gone,
government
right?
response?
What's that?
You don't have the
No,
trailer.
it's one of those things that
no.
it's a convenience.
I went down there.
Because we don't want to collect it there anymore.
The blue can would be full and would have boxes there, and it was like, just take it to the dumpster. And so it was a convenience thing because that perception that it was adding value to the compost, so if it's not, I mean, it's gonna suck going all the way out there, but I'd agree with that.
In fairness, I guess we're being cheap and lazy with how we process it. I mean, we could spend more money
Not
and
the right equipment.
shred it and add to the pile, but
You're talking not taking it at your place or the Greenway site, is that right?
correct.
We wouldn't be taking cardboard at all.
Yeah, just
Not
going
even-
to
Or are
flat
you talking
can.
the landfill?
I'm talking about
Oh,
landfill.
sorry, okay. Thought you were thinking the Greenway stuff.
So just for me, the green waste, I mean, we have to take our grass clear out there if we want to do it, but what days of the week is that open and the times?
Right now, it's open Monday through Thursday and basically 8:30 till 11:30 and then 1 to 4.
But not on the weekends.
Not yet.
But I mean, in the summer, will it be on the?
Oh, yeah. And lunchtime is also a time where we see people wanting to, it's their lunch break, they go dump it, so we'll be more accessible. Mother Nature is our enemy right now, and the weather's too nice. People are doing a tremendous amount of outdoor projects that otherwise they would be waiting till April to do. But they've been doing it all winter long so far, it's just crazy. We can move on to the next one if you would like.
Thanks, Carl.
Okay, thanks for listening. We are super excited at how many, we're excited to be doing projects. I'm really thrilled that we've had a tremendous response in the number of bids that we've got. And so in the last couple weeks, we had bid openings for 2 capital projects that we've had identified. First one is we have to build another canal equalization basin, a pond where we take canal water into and we pump out of for our secondary. And that's located, what is 4400 West, the county road name?
It's SR 13.
Yeah, SR 13.
About
It's
600 south.
So that's all designed out. The bids that we've got have been, we give them engineer's cost estimate, which Chris gave. Some of these are kind of long-standing plans, but we did updated engineer's estimates. You can see for this one, it was $384,000. And we got a bid from Brager and Sons. We got multiple bids, but there you go.
For the record, I have never had a project in Tremont with this many bidders.
The last 3 projects have had at least 18 bids received.
What's causing that?
I don't know. I don't know. We're getting a lot of.
But we are
interest from
taking
other
advantage of
places.
it. We can tell you that.
Yeah,
It's great.
good timing, partly.
So later, I believe, right, Mayor, not in this meeting. We don't make decisions in this meeting, right?
No, we'll vote later.
Not we, but the council. So we are asking the council to award bids for the East Canal Equalization Basin Project and the South of Main Street Culinary Water Line Replacement Project tonight. And should I give them the details?
Probably for this one, yeah, the low bidder on the the equalization basin was Brager and Sons. And they're the ones we'll recommend the award on. On the water line replacement project, that's a little bit different story.
Yeah, there was basically a statistical tie between LeGrand Johnson and Brager and Sons. $1,800 difference in a approximately $1 million project. And so we asked for, because for our procurement, we don't have to choose the lowest. And that's a pretty standard thing in governmental procurement policy and state procurement policy, is that you want to select the lowest, but you want to select the qualified. And so we asked for references and statements of qualification, basically, for the culinary waterline project. And LeGrand Johnson, which was recently purchased by a much larger company, Kilgore Company, they want to they do a lot of road projects, and they're really excellent at that. So, but we weren't familiar with them doing pressurized pipeline projects, and so we asked for references, and they haven't done too many of them.
They're essentially non-responsive. The information we got back was mostly road projects, which I know they can do well. I've worked with them on road projects and some associated drainage, but we're talking about our culinary water system. And they didn't really respond with any experience that was applicable to what this project is.
And it's important because we're not only replacing just a mile of pipeline, but it's all the individual services
Yeah, I mean-
to the homes, the valves.
Fast and
And there's lots of utilities that you're constantly running into. It's in the middle of town, and so it's a big deal. We want the best qualified person to do it, and with 18 bids, we can be picky. And we are thrilled to recommend that the council also award the culinary waterline replacement project to Brager and Sons as well. And they're a local contractor, smaller local,
And they are qualified. They've done plenty of culinary
Yeah.
water projects.
with good references.
are they both at the same time? Can they cover them both?
Um,
Projects?
we will require them to do the pond first. The pond's gotta get started. I mean, it depends on what crews they have, I guess, but,
They have the capacity to do both projects. I don't know how much they'll be working on them at the same time.
So this is where any questions or any further discussion, this is the time to have it, and then we won't spend quite so much time in city council meeting on
I like it.
I've
these.
already visited with the gentleman about it, and, with having somebody that knows what they're doing, to me, is a little more reassuring than just going with the lesser. And we've already talked about that in our meeting.
well, and I know that you guys are really concerned and wanting to be fiscally responsible all the time. Sometimes we look for ways to save pennies. This is a way to save, this is dollars. Like, we budgeted $1.5 million, and we're slightly under $1 million on this culinary water line replacement. That's tremendous. We gotta take advantage of that kind of thing. Same thing with the other projects that we've done too, that they've been under budget, and cha-ching, that's money that we can keep for the next project, and we've got plenty of them, don't we, Christie?
A very long list.
Okay,
It was rather painful, but it's.
That's it, thank you.
And then, was this the East Canal equalization? That was the second one you covered?
The East Canal was the first one,
Okay.
The second one was-
one's the water replacement.
was
Okay, thanks.
the culinary water line replacement. That was
Okay.
my intent anyways.
Okay.
Hopefully I did that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carl.
Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Chris. We'll get all of you in there.
The next one is my turn. We have got Jeff Sedal has offered his resignation, and so we're going to have to, or we're going to work on a replacement. And so I need to open that up for discussion here. I've got an idea, but you guys get to make the decisions. So,
Okay, I've been doing can you hear me okay? I talk loud. I've been doing some research on this, and I actually contacted Pleasant View. And they have a really neat idea down there. They don't contract for their planner. They don't go with someone with a degree. They say they have the engineer for that. And so what they have done is they have hired a planner tech. They say they've had the regular city planners before. They're just moving in this direction. It's cost effective. The lady was gave me a lot of information today, and she says it works really well with them. And I would really like to explore something like that, because I kind of think we have someone that might be qualified for that, but I still want to post that, I think jobs need to be posted. And have it go through the interview process and everything. That way we are being very transparent. But reach out to HR, Pleasant View. The lady was great, she was wonderful. I like the process. She says it's made things a whole lot better in Pleasant View. And that's just my suggestion.
Did she tell you any downsides to doing that?
You won't have a headache. And I asked her,
I mean the downside.
well, that's what I said.
There's not a thing that happens that there's not even a little bit of a negative of going that direction.
And I
so it's
asked her
just-
about that. I says, so there has to be a flip side.
Right.
What is it? And she says, the benefits far outweigh
Sure.
the negative that they had before. I mean, 40 minutes on the phone with her, I felt confident in what she was saying. She actually offered to have me talk to their tech, and it's more or less called a tech. And I really like the idea, so do your homework. But that's where I'm really encouraging you to possibly move towards. She says, as long as you have, and she asked me a lot of questions about our city engineer. And is he accessible? Yes. Does he come to meetings? Yes. She says, then he will be the next person's, he's not listening because he doesn't want to know. He will be a great asset. And if you have a city engineer, she goes, you're doubling up. And I think Chris he'll be fine. I think he'll be a great asset. What I have going on in my head right now, I'm not going to say out loud, but I'd like to get it out there. She did say one positive.
I thought to be in your head for a second.
No, not today. You probably wouldn't.
I want to hear it.
She did say it is cost effective. She says you're not paying for that degree, and if you give that person, okay, the person they hired is somebody that had been working with the city planner previously. That person, and she is a lady, yeah, to me, that's a bonus. Okay, we need more women. She says she had worked with the city planner. She worked with the city planner. She had started her own research. And she knows what's going on in the city, but she knew how she would like to see the city shape and change. And for cost-effective reasons is why they decided to explore this. And she says it's working fantastic. So that's my 2 bits.
As it
That's
relates
amazing.
to meeting with developers, there's a lot of vision setting tasks that have been falling on Jeff. Where do those fall? What does that go to?
So I asked her, I said, so how does the process work in your town? She says, just like it does in Tremont, developers bring in their plans, she goes over them, but she also has the city engineer, I keep pointing at you, Chris, I'm sorry. She has the city engineer go over them. Together they go pro and con on this. They work together as a team. And she says, in the first, she goes, it makes things a little bit slower because people are learning a new role. And she's, okay, I'm going to pick on Carl for a minute. Yes. Sorry, Carl. I like what happened down at Public Works. When they hired Carl, he hit the ground running. He didn't have anybody training him, teaching him my way to do things. And that's one thing the lady said in Pleasant View. She didn't have anybody to tell her what to do. They said, look, we trust you. Move in this direction. What can you do? But we're here to support you. And I really like that. Carl did the same thing. He didn't have anybody standing over the top of him telling him what to do. Carl and Andrew have taken that whole program, in my opinion, and I love what you're doing. And so I'm excited. Come on, guys. I'm excited about this.
Jeff did the same thing too, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it might, like if you think about all the details that Jeff deals with during a day, the development agreement details, that we've done a lot of negotiation on, for example, over in River's Edge with the park and like, all the details of the vision of the bigger vision. Like when I think about parks, those are critical that we're getting, that we as a city are negotiating things back and forth. And I'm worried that without experience in that field, we might be leaving some of those agreements, those negotiation pieces on the table. So I would just really want to see Planning Commission doing a good job at, where would that fall? I guess for lack of my knowledge of your day, that person would be doing that?
She does, and she does a really good job.
Okay.
And I think I'm seeing
I'm
a
not
stereotype
challenging
here
the
that I'm struggling with, and I like your comments, I really do.
I'm not
And I think if we
challenging
don't-
them that they're bad either.
If
Like,
we
I'm
don't
just-
explore this,
Yeah.
I mean, we're not out anything. If we are out if we don't explore it.
We're out though if the developer, for what reason, takes a little advantage and we don't get some of the perks on this stuff. We are out there. I mean, if we don't do our job, if I'm the guy and I
You could make a $500,000
don't know what I'm
misstep
doing, I
pretty
could
quick.
miss out on somebody paying for the sidewalk, or, oh, you didn't mention that. I mean, we've all,
Well, that's why we have Chris,
And well,
and Chris is really good.
I think it's really important we identify those roles, okay?
Yeah.
A community, or our development director, their role is higher end. They're the ones that are out pushing economic development. They're out doing all this. The planner is the one that's doing what you guys are talking about, right? They're the one that's in the meat. They're the ones that are making sure that we're being taken care of. So I think what Christie is saying here is, let's move from a development director to a planner that can do all these things, and this is part of my proposal, and let's consider a part-time zoning administrator. Between those two, it'd be a lot less expensive
Lindsay?
for us.
What's your thoughts?
I'm, some of the same things. I'm nervous that we're gonna
You're in
miss
the
stuff.
day-to-day, right?
Yeah.
You're seeing all those things that are being done. What are we gonna be?
And Sean did it in his time. He was your planner / city manager. I don't have that expertise.
Can I go in there? Sean was overloaded with that.
That's, yes, and that's,
He had way too much.
we burned him out, yeah.
with-
Absolutely. So yeah, I think it was a great plan to get a planner to relieve that burden. I'm just saying in the interim, I don't have that knowledge right now.
What holes will we be having? What?
I think just some of the roles are defined. There are roles and things that need to be done that Jeff has done. And I think the negotiation, the stuff that Larry talked about when you're dealing with a developer negotiating densities or whatever, somebody needs to do that stuff. I think you just need to decide who's going to do it, whose responsibilities those are. I think if you have those roles defined and those responsibilities defined, and the people who need to fill those roles know that that's their job, then I think you'll be okay.
Contact Pleasant View, they were wonderful.
But
You
there-
have
there
questions?
There can be some holes.
But there's gonna be holes no
So as
matter
long-
which way you go,
as long
in
as
the
you know.
beginning, until we work through the process and get the process refined. There are going to be holes, but I don't wanna shoot us in the foot just because we're hung up on one thing. I would like to explore other options, but definitely, it needs to be posted and not just handed out.
And Jeff's given us some time. I mean, we don't have to jump on this right now. So we've got time to think about this. We're just bringing this out for everyone to think about. An option I've been thinking about is if we go, I call it a 3-2 swap, okay? If we go with a part-time zoning administrator and someone in planning, and hire a budget or
Finance
a
director.
finance
In-house
director,
finance director.
an in-house finance director to work with Curtis, it would still be less expensive than the two positions that we currently have available.
Assistant city manager and community development director.
One more observation. Jeff, when we hired Jeff, he's not a planner. He's an engineer. He did a really good job of learning the job. But he had to learn the job, right, Jeff?
No, it was part of my. Did you miss those classes at OSU?
I missed him.
No, it was a lot, and it was a lot to learn the job, especially with no overlap. I mean, I can even remember one of the first sentences Mark said to me when I started is, he said, "You're a planner. I don't even know what you're supposed to do either. So just start finding work."
Yeah.
But
I think if you get somebody who can learn the job, you're in a good spot. He did a really good job learning the job.
if I can too, Pleasant View isn't in a situation we're gonna be in for the next 20 years. Pleasant View is growing very slowly. They're growing, filling out towards the interstate, and they're finding their limits. We're expanding all of ours. And knowing the discussions that I've had with Chris over the past couple of years, and even the discussions that this group of four here have had, Chris is learning to delegate more and more of the work because of how much utility type planning we're trying to get done through Public Works. And so saying that Chris is gonna be taking on more roles isn't accurate. It'd be Jones and Associates taking on more roles for us. And I know they have great staff members. I also know that we're not their only municipality. So in terms of responsiveness, that's one of those sacrifices I think you would make going that direction.
When's the resignation effective? How much time do we
He'll
have?
give us till July 1st.
2-year,
That's what I was.
2-year notice.
So 2028, 2029?
Bo said something about 2055, or he said at least 3 years, something about a city council term.
Give us 2.5.
Just 2.5. Just 2.5.
Two's fine.
And you know, and it is nice because we could have Jeff here to make sure that they're learning the role and everything like that. No decisions tonight,
No,
but
this is
we've
talking.
really got to start thinking about what direction we want to take Tremont. Now, I feel very strongly that we need a financial director here in doing the day-to-day, running the budgets. I feel strong about that. I think we're in a position in this city that we need that. And, yeah, we've got so much going on, and that would just help this city out tremendously. And so, I think we need to consider those options as well. But this has got to be budget neutral or less. We cannot,
I would highly value, just Jeff's opinion of, hey, this bucket's gonna leak here. You're gonna have an issue here when I leave, right? Because we need to understand what that is so that we can prepare around that. That's just my opinion.
well, did you want to answer some of that now, or do you want some time to think about it?
I mean, I can probably answer it now.
Come up here so people can hear you, okay, please?
I mean, development is the main part of what I've been doing, but Tremont's overall planning and zoning code has been severely outdated even since I was on the planning commission. And so if I was gonna say things that where you may start creating leaks or where you start getting heavier in the budget is asking to either Jones and Associates or Landmark Design to continue doing more and more planning involvement because someone's gonna have to be there. But I can tell you, we have 22 funds because I just spent most of last week creating summary sheets that Lindsay is going to be using to help break down that. I've also ended up coordinating more with not just the DRC and the Planning Commission agendas, but also with the members of those to be more proactive in getting them the information they need on the development agreements as we're continuing to see more and more PUD applications. So if there was one concern I would have if everything went out of office in terms of everything's becoming a third-party hire is the ability to keep the timeline set up so that you get the public noticing and you get the and you get agendas and you keep all of those ducks in a row in order to have something matching both state and city code to get a decision made by the council. And I think that's the number one struggle you'd end up having is coordinating that with getting documents back from developers as well as getting it through the DRC and also, you know, writing and reviewing all the development agreements.
And
Oh, and then the neighborhood partnership initiative just started, so there's the other one.
And one of the possible solutions is if we bring in a financial director, we're gonna be pulling a fair amount off of Lindsay's plate. And then Lindsay's really good at that organizational level of getting the minutes ready, making sure everything's in line, you know, and so she would adopt some of those higher end responsibilities. I would think.
Gives us something to look at. A couple of things to look at.
Any other questions for Jeff or this discussion?
I'm good.
Maybe just Chris, like any other insight as to what you would recommend?
I don't know what I would recommend on the spot. I think I've stated what I would recommend. I think you need somebody, you definitely need somebody working here, taking care of, tracking everything, taking care of the day-to-day stuff. Whether it be a planner or somebody, like Christy's talking about, that somebody that can learn the job. Like I said, Jeff isn't a planner, but he learned the job. Somebody that can learn that stuff. You have support on the planning, the macro planning end that you can call on, whether it be from us or from Landmark Design. But the day-to-day down, you know, right here, you need somebody handling it.
So I have a question, just sitting here talking, so we get a planner, or it's a regular tech or whatever, but if we utilize you guys more, what's the price of that's gonna go up, right? Billable hours that you guys do.
Yeah, it just depends on how much time you need. We've used Sam Taylor from Landmark Design for planning. I think Sam worked with Jeff early on in training him in planning stuff. So as a planner, that's kind of what he does. We have people in our office that have planning backgrounds, but
I mean, is that, when it comes to
it just is.
finances,
Yeah.
we save it here, but we spend it there, I don't know.
Yeah.
How much time do you spend doing that?
You'll spend it really faster out there.
Yeah. A little higher.
I think the big question is coming, that's out here for everyone, is if we have a planner come in, can they fulfill the need that we need without having to rely a lot more on these?
That planner would
Exterior
be
ones.
meeting with the developers.
She does every, as I as I talked to them on the phone today, she does everything that you guys are all concerned about. She meets with the planners, she meets with the developers, she has had to learn code. Yes, it slowed down some developments in the beginning because it's a transition, but they said it didn't slow it down that much. And I just think it is worth exploring and not pigeonholing ourselves because it's
I agree with
the norm. Let's go with the norm. Let's explore something. So if you have questions, reach out to Pleasant View. The HR lady was wonderful.
Carl?
I think smart planning in any department, any area can save millions of dollars. And so finding
finding a very capable, a smart person who can do things the Tremont way, but knows how to negotiate with the developers can save millions of dollars. And if that costs us $30,000 more a year, I would take that bargain every day of the week.
I will say, when the planner position was advertised before, we had limited response from people with planning degrees or expertise. There was one person we wanted to hire that was ultimately retained, that we couldn't hire. But most of the people that applied were not planners. And that's just the nature of it right now. I don't think that's changed. I think if you put that out there, you're not gonna find a lot of planners applying for the job. You're going to have to just get somebody who can learn the job.
So for the next 2 weeks, what would you like us to do to help you move on with the decision?
I think just be willing and open-minded. When we pigeonhole ourselves and, okay, just call Pleasant View, talk to HR. They are so excited about what this lady has been able to do for them. It's worth exploring. I'm not gonna tie you down one way or another, but if we have somebody capable and we can get someone like that, kind of have a few ideas in my head right now.
Still her from Pleasant View.
Yeah.
Now that she's all trained up.
Yeah, there we go. I've been doing the bathroom all day. I think it's worth exploring. So reach out to Pleasant
See the
View.
roles and responsibilities of what we're hiring.
Let's take a trip.
What we're proposing the pivot would be.
Yeah.
I'm totally open-minded.
Let's do that.
To exploring new options.
Okay.
Wonder if we could do
We'll put
as
that
a-
together for the next city council meeting. We'll work with Jeff. We'll put together job
He's got
descriptions
some job descriptions
of
already.
everyone, and then we'll make sure you all have that so you can study it, and then we'll see if that will meet our need. Sound good? Okay, thanks. Thanks, Jeff. Or no, thanks. Okay,
Happy for you as a friend.
next is our city council, or our city manager contract that we're discussing. And so we discussed last week of putting a resolution in to hire Lindsay as our city manager. The contract's in there for you guys to look at and question. We did leave off, as I was going through it, we left off a performance portion. And so if we decide to go through with this tonight, I would ask you, we had discussed that we wanted to have, I'm going to read it to you. The mayor and council shall conduct a formal performance evaluation of the manager 6 months following the effective date to ensure alignment on city goals and operational expectations. B, following the initial review, the mayor and council shall evaluate the manager's performance annually. The mayor shall determine the specific method and manner of these evaluations prior to the end of the fiscal year. So that's when the evaluation would come, like in June, before the fiscal year. And the last one, the parties agree to formally review the terms and conditions of the agreement every 2 years to ensure compensation, benefits, and local market alignment remain consistent with city objectives. So that's something we would want to add into it as per your request in our last city council meeting.
I mean, everybody in every job gets an annual, I mean, the whole city, everybody gets one, so that wouldn't be anything out of the norm.
Is this from a prior contract or is this new? Have we done this before with other managers?
Not the
The
6-month
annual,
thing,
not the 6 month.
but
I
this
think
was
the
a
annual
request
review
you
was in
guys
there,
had
though.
last time we met, and so I just put it in.
Olive Garden.
Yeah. So, and that's the reason for that. It's open for discussion.
Okay, I'll go. What were we paying Bill?
I left my paper up there.
So Paul Lindsay's looking that up. and I've gone back and forth since reviewing the contract. One, I'm glad that Lindsay has accepted it. I've worked for a lot of city managers in a lot of areas and seen them get some really sweetheart deals. And I think that comes with the role. What was it?
I was just, the performance evaluation was in the contract already, just not the 6-month one.
Okay. Trying to decide how deep to step in this.
You're already in there.
All the way, full send.
I don't think 147.5 is enough for the work that she does. And the 6-month opt out. I mean, I've seen 5 and 6 year contracts. The council decides to part ways with the manager within the first year, and the rest of that contract gets paid out. I'm not saying that's a good policy, but it's kind of the trend that I've seen. The thing that we gotta remember is that prior to this, we were paying a manager and Lindsay, and it seems like Lindsay was doing all the work anyway. And so we're saving that money. She's agreed to come. We've got to look at it like, how many managers have we had in the last 5 years? How many fire chiefs, police chiefs, public works directors, how many have we had in the last 5 years? There comes a point where, and I'll just say this. Our job is to effectively run the city, right? And are the taxpayers getting good returns on their investment? And just like with the presentations that we've heard before, there's a cost to running the city effectively. We've got a big group that wants pickleball. I didn't know pickleball existed until like 3 years ago, and somebody had to explain it to me. And I played it once, and I wasn't very good at it. But it's not about what I would use or what I want. If a majority of the public wants pickleball courts, then great, let's figure out a way to get it to them. For all those reasons, and I support that. Not even being a pickleball player, and I'm not even committing to playing. Where I'm going with this is that as we strategize where we want the city in 5, 10, 15, and 20 years from now, decisions like this and the people that we bring in says a lot about how serious we are about getting there. So I will vote to pass that because it locks Lindsay in, and I'm glad that she's there. But I think it also sends a message of just skimming her over the top of directors that she's over. And so I don't know if there's a way to revise it, or if that's even a possibility. I don't know how all that works, but for the job that she's going to be doing and tacking on a 6-month review and things like that, I think she deserves more, and I'll leave it at that.
I will add that the 6-month review came from some discussion that was actually, I think, asked for. So I don't know if there's friction on the 6-month review from your end.
I don't even know if
So it just.
You might agree with the whole thing. I don't know.
In our discussion, that we had, we asked her directly.
Or was it Olive Garden?
And that was actually something that was mutually kind of requested almost. Let's take a look at it in 6 months. And
Let's explore it is, I think, kind of the way we
Yeah.
put it. And I'll be honest with you, at first, I had a little bit of anxiety over the whole thing. And so I sat down, I'm gonna throw you under the bus. I sat down with the mayor because I don't work with Lindsay on a day-to-day basis. I didn't know, without sounding awful. No. The last city manager, it was hard. it was hard. I didn't want to go down the same track. And so I went to the mayor and I asked his opinion today. I hope you don't mind. I wasn't going behind your back. I just needed to have some answers in my head. I really liked what he had to say because I don't work in the city every single day. I had a lot of questions, and he's actually put my mind at ease. I like the 6-month thing that we talked about and the reasons we discussed that, just as an evaluation, and then we go from there. I mean, she's doing a good job right now. I have to be careful what I say too much. So that's, I'm on board now, where before I had a lot of, nothing against you, Lindsay. I like you as a person, I really do, but I was just a little nervous about some areas. Now I'm okay. After visiting with the mayor, talking through many, many things with him, we need some strong leadership in this town. And that's just the bottom line right there. And the mayor feels strongly that she's gonna take the bull by the horns and just run it through the gate. So,
No pressure.
sorry.
Well, and I think one of the things that I really shared that's important to me is I know what I'm getting. Whereas,
Yeah,
I don't, we can reach out, and we can try to get these others in, but we don't know what we're getting, and I don't want to go down a bad path again. So,
did you find that number on Bill? 142, okay, so it's,
Now, and as far as the wage, we've talked a lot about that, but and she was comfortable with.
like I said, I have no idea where she sits on it.
We really, it's hard for us to go in and pay her less than we pay people working under her. And so we've set that ceiling kind of high on some of our other people.
But it's, with the turnover, is it really that high of a ceiling?
Oh.
I mean, that's what I'm saying, if we're gonna sustain this and have some consistency in what we're doing, then we've gotta be able to retain those top positions, not have the turnover that the city has had, at least the last 5 years. And I don't know if we've had a steady city manager since Rich Woodworth.
Yeah, Sean was here.
Sean was, and Sean did.
He
Okay.
was here for
15
quite-
years about.
Oh, okay. So then between him and now, we're kind of, and so what does it take to keep him? And I think for even a messaging of, for as little as $2,500, but it sets that, at a 150, it sets some value, it sets some expectation, there was a lot of cleaning up that she had to do last year. And I think for just even the messaging of it, I'm gonna vote yes for it, but I would like to see the number.
And, in the attitude of transparency that we really need to make sure we're talking about is she does not live in the city limits. She's a half a mile out.
Oh,
Dude, you're gonna have to move.
And
My parents won't let me.
the contract has called for them to live in city limits, and so in the contract, we've made that a time factor rather than the city limits. So,
We're familiar with the annexation process.
yeah, I know she wants to be annexed in.
I'm outside the boundaries, or I'm in Elwoods, I'm
Those
sure.
multi-lot subdivisions.
So, any further discussion on this contract?
No,
Okay.
I'm good now. I mean, after talking to you, you know I had some issues. I'm good now.
Okay. Let's move on to the next item. What's that?
I sit out.
Okay. Lindsay, you're going to
is
talk
Cynthia's.
the dignity index.
Oh, are you skipping to a couple?
Nope, you're right. You go where you're supposed to go.
It's Cynthia with the credit card.
Cynthia, your
policy.
turn.
Okay, so this came from a conversation with Curtis. He suggested we implement a credit card policy for the city, and it gives them some guidelines. If you purchase with a credit card, you need to turn those receipts in timely. And if not, then there are some consequences. It's a privilege to use it, so if you don't follow those guidelines, they give them five different times, and then they would lose the privilege of using that credit card. So that's what this establishes.
Thank you, Cynthia.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
He went through this, and this kind of tightened up the
Dalton's
process has
reviewed
been.
this, and this is great.
Brent just had a good thought. Does that include fuel cards? Or should we include, I mean, I guess we can't.
We get copies of those from
Right,
our
right.
receipts anyway, so I don't think that's as big of
Sorry, say that
an
again.
issue. We already get copies of every single charge. We have it electronically. We have, so I don't think that's an issue.
Okay, just the other, okay.
Okay,
Now me.
yes.
I'll talk quick, we're running out of time. So the revised compensation and classification plan, so occasionally we update our plan. We update it every June when we give a COLA increase. It increases the minimums and maximums. This is a special one that we are doing kind of mid-year. In working with our vendor, we had to do our salary survey. It was found that, like, for instance, the compost facility attendant, when we hired him, we just hired him under the Main Street maintenance worker, even though he had his own job description and his own title. And so they caught that and said, well, where's your compost facility attendant in your plan? So we added him in. It's still in the same pay range as the Main Street maintenance worker. We added him. Last fiscal year, the senior center had asked to hire 2 part-time receptionists, a morning and an afternoon one. I spelled that wrong, sorry. We put it in the same pay range as a clerk 1 admin assistant at the senior center, which, come to find out, that was not where it should have gone. They are not doing the same things as the admin assistant. We hired these receptionists to answer phones and be the first face so that our admin assistant can do her job duties. So in looking at it, it didn't make sense to have them in the same pay range as the admin assistant. So we've already hired 2. They're within the pay range. Going forward, if they were to quit and we hired someone else, we would hire them at this lower pay range as a receptionist, not as an admin assistant. A couple of the Parks and Rec, just to make it similar across other Parks and Rec departments, we had a part-time seasonal parks maintenance worker. We also had a full-time parks maintenance worker, which got a little confusing. Zach suggested, again, to keep with consistency with other departments, a head groundskeeper should be his title rather than parks maintenance worker. It's not changing anything, still on the same pay grade. He's not getting any different pay. It's just his title is going from parks maintenance worker full-time to head groundskeeper. And then also kind of the same thing with recreation manager, again, keeping it consistent across other Parks and Rec departments would be a recreation supervisor rather than manager. The bigger one that you may have noticed is creating a new position. It would be called Public Works Operations Manager was the title we came up with. If you have thoughts on a different title, that's fine. We're open to suggestion, but we've had a lot of change in the Public Works Department, such as bringing on secondary water, which was basically its own department, and shoving that under somebody that already had other responsibilities and saying, here's another department for you. So it's not creating a new FTE. We want to make that clear. It would be just one of our employees would be getting promoted to this new position. So it would not be creating a new FTE. It would come with a bit of a pay increase. Yes, please, Carl.
And he already exceeds his
Oh,
classification.
yes.
He would fall under this typically, but he is taking on additional responsibilities.
Yes. Because he would be overseeing
Additional
departments.
and additional
Employees. Yes,
Would he get a raise from this position change?
yes.
Yeah, a modest one.
Doing the work. Need to pay him.
So that was all I had, unless you have questions on that. That's all that changed, is just those, 4 or 5 red highlighted positions. No minimums, maximums, nothing has changed there, so.
And remember, as we move on into the next meeting, if you have any questions and we need to move this to further discussion, we can do that. Okay, so,
Agenda.
yeah. And then the last item we have to discuss is,
Just the Dignity Index. So this is a resolution that is actually from the Dignity Index website. It's kind of a template they use. Sorry, what? All sorts of documents and stuff on there, so.
Now you know.
Yes. So since we're implementing Dignity, I thought it made sense to have a resolution that kind of formalizes that our communication and discourse will be that of dignity. We encourage our citizens to also adopt that when they give public comments and whatever. So yeah, just kind of formalizing that we are a dignity city. We're gonna work on that and implement using dignity in all our discussions and, yeah.
Any questions?
Yeah.
All right, then, let's go ahead and adjourn for 10 minutes or 9 minutes, whatever it is, and we'll get together and start at 7 o'clock. order. We'd like to welcome everyone to the Tremont City Council meeting tonight. It's 7 o'clock. We will turn a few minutes over to Cynthia for a roll call.
Okay, I'll call roll for the February 3rd City Council meeting. Councilmember Lewis.
Here.
Councilmember Jex.
Here.
Councilmember Boca. Here. Councilmember Westergaard.
Here.
Thank you.
So we have a partial quorum, but we have a majority, so we can go ahead and move forward. We'd like to excuse Councilperson Euler. She's not with us tonight. We would like to start off with an invocation and a pledge of allegiance. We're honored to have from the Bear River Baptist Church, Jim Williams is going to offer the prayer for us. And then after that, we would like to invite one of our students, Glenn Gilmore, to come up to the front and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. So Jim. Thank you.
Thank you. And I want to thank y'all for inviting us. We're a small church. Most people drive by it every day in the old Leader building, just right around the corner. Thank you for inviting, understand all the churches, and we appreciate this opportunity. And so let's go to the Lord in prayer. Lord God, it is such a pleasure to come to the town council, to work with them and pray with them. We just thank you for their leadership and the many, many hours they put in for Tremont. Lord, as such leaders, there's some hard questions always. We just pray that your presence will be here in this room tonight, that they will base their decisions not on what they want or what we want, but Lord, what you want, so that your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. In your Son's precious name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you so much.
Please stand, salute the flag, repeat after me. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Glenn. My microphone's on now. You can hear me a little better? Good. Okay, next on the agenda. Okay, approval of the agenda. I would like to have a motion to approve the agenda. There's one thing that was brought to my attention today, and I'm thankful that we figured this out. On the agenda under citizen engagement, it says residents may address the council only on issues not listed below on the agenda. I want that changed to residents may address the council on any issue not listed on the strategic business.
Oh.
Okay, because this was sounding like they couldn't talk about anything inside of the consent agenda, and that's not the fact. What we're trying to do is encourage discussion during strategic business, but any of these other subjects are totally open to discussion and public comment. So
Do you need a motion for that?
I do.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Here we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say yes.
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 All those opposed say no. Okay, we have a motion to move forward with our agenda. Now we'll entertain any declaration of conflict of interest for items discussed in this meeting. Does anyone have a conflict of interest? Okay, hearing none, we'll go ahead and move forward. Okay, one of the funnest parts of this evening, once a month, is we get to recognize these wonderful students that are here today. And do you have those certificates there? I lost them. So we have here some certificates for the students. And these certificates are to show, or to recognize you for showing respect, responsibility, and safety in your schools. And most importantly, there's a nice $10 McDonald's gift card with it. So, but this is really awesome that you're recognized in your schools. And we're also doing something really fun. And I have a member of the city council that's going to help us do this. And Councilman Westergaard has offered to help us do this today. So we'll come down there. He'll call out the names. We'd like you to come up. We'd like to invite the principals up, and we'll shake your hands. Then we'd like everyone to stay up here, and we'll allow everyone to get some pictures of these kids, okay?
They told me I have to get a picture this time.
Elizabeth Atkins. Emerson Bonk. Maddox Merrill. Haley Rice.
Right here, let me take your picture, okay?
Annie White. Toby Ortega. Tanner Dixon. Glenn Gilmore. Haley Mattinson. Kai Larson. Logan Hughes. Oh, wait a minute, I can get two.
You'd like to, huh? That'd be fun. So we got 2 gift cards.
Asher Dana. Sean Jacob. Faye Gledhill.
Did we miss anybody? Okay, we're gonna go stand up there as a council behind, and then Cynthia will take a picture, and then she'll get out of the way, and we'll wait so you can get in the middle and take pictures, okay?
Yeah, they told me I have to. Gotta stand up.
Hey, council, let's stand up here together.
Okay. When I'm done, we'll give you guys lots of time.
Good job.
We're waiting behind his head. I told him, make sure you can see me because I don't want to miss you. Ready? 1, 2, 3. All right, you guys are welcome to come take pictures.
Well, stay there, your
See ya,
parents want to get
Christine.
pictures.
I don't want to be in the parents' pictures.
Maddox, turn your paper around.
There you go.
Thank you. Congratulations, kids. I have to get that figured out so quick. Resetting on me.
Mass exodus. In the mass exodus.
If you needed to.
Got more cheesecake for us.
Cheesecake? There's cheesecake?
I wish there was.
Cheesecake. But really cleared out. He's all fine. More cheesecake for us.
Only Carl. Say cheesecake and then not bring cheesecake.
All right, fine.
Carl, they have them down at Kent's. Hurry and run.
Hi. Oh, I want to shake your hand too. Thank you.
Looking forward to it that you got nervous and walked right on by. So
Thank
you.
How sweet.
It was cute. That really was.
Well, they are for sure the generation to come, aren't they? They're going to be amazing. All right, now it's time for our citizen engagement section. Hard conversations require the honest truth and a respectful tone. We are committed to fixing the problems without making it personal. Let's keep the conversations productive so that we can get back to the work of building a new Tremont. Speakers who registered online, then the sign-up sheet on the door before the meeting will be called on a first-come, first-served basis. Now, we don't have it online yet, but we're slowly getting that ready in our new website we're developing. And then citizens from the audience are welcome to come and speak. Do we have anyone that signed up? Okay. Then citizens from the audience, you're welcome to come up and speak. You get 3 minutes per individual. Remember, by state law, the city council cannot debate or take actions on non-agenda items. We will listen and direct the staff to follow up. And a reminder, if you have anything you want to talk about tonight, even if it's on the agenda, because we don't have anything that, we didn't, well, when we get the
There's no
consent agenda.
strategic business
Yeah.
items that would.
Yeah, so anything you wanted to talk about tonight, you are welcome to talk about from the public. And so we'll go ahead and open it up for the public at this moment.
Hi, my name is Chris Danvers. I think the last time I was here, it was April, right in the middle of budget season. And I predicted there would be a huge change up on that bench up there where you guys all sit, and I'm glad to see that my prediction came about right. So welcome to all of you guys who are new, and glad to see the ones that are still here from before. I had a few thoughts as I was sitting through your work session. And I think where I want to start is, as far as Jeff leaving, I think it's going to be a hard hit. The more I sit and listen to the meetings and see him in here, he's
amazing. I would encourage the council to consider apprenticeships and internships and offering those to high school students as well as those leaving our high school and going to local colleges. I imagine there's two types of people in small towns, the type of people who want to live here forever, the type of kids who want to live here forever, and type of kids who want to get out of small towns. Find the ones who want to live here forever, give them a reason to live here forever, give them a pathway to be able to stay here forever. And find as many places in the city where you can do those internships and apprenticeships and help them to have affordable ways to learn and grow into those positions. I don't think anybody's gonna take care of the city more than the people who've lived here or around here and grown up here. First thing I walked into was a big ask for pickleball courts. And although I love the idea of more Parks and Rec, remember the last city council had a spending problem and a yes problem. It's $7 million sounds like an awful lot of money. And then right after that was road repairs going from $330,000 a year to $1.3 million. Maybe you might want to ease into that a bit. Or pockets are still reeling from the Board of Ed and the last truth in taxation. And I guess that's all of my time.
Thank you. Thank you for your comments. Thank you so much. Okay, seeing no one else wanting to participate, we'll go ahead and close this portion of the agenda. And we'll move on to the consent agenda. We have the consent agenda before us, which includes the minutes, finances, and Resolution 2607, awarding a bid for the East Canal Equalization Basin Project. Resolution 2608, awarding a bid for the 2026 Water Line Replacement Project. Resolution 2609, City Manager Contract. Resolution
Mine just did it too.
2610.
2610, amending Section 2 of the Purchasing Policy and Contracts regarding credit card usage. And Resolution 2611, amending the Compensation and Classification Plan. And Resolution 2612, approving dignity discourse and productive communication with the Dignity Index. With that in mind, is there any of these items that you would like to move down to the strategic business for further discussion?
No, my questions were all answered.
Okay, then I will entertain a motion to accept the consent agenda.
I make a motion that we accept the consent agenda.
I second it.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilperson Bocat and by Councilperson Westergaard. Any further discussion? Okay, all those we will have a roll call.
Council members, please respond with your yes or no vote. Councilmember Lewis?
Yes.
Councilmember Jex?
Yes.
Councilmember Bocat?
Yes.
Councilmember Westergaard?
Yes.
Motion passes.
We made a little mistake. We need to include this
honk.
in the resolution.
You're right.
Sorry.
So,
I need to
yeah.
amend my motion that we include the amendment to the city manager contract. Is that okay?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
thank you, and,
Second that substitute.
okay.
Do we,
So-
do we need to elaborate around the verbiage of his
Sure.
6 months?
Yeah, go ahead and
The
elaborate on that.
amendment,
What the amendment was.
Oh, the amendment was to,
Here you go.
can't find my paper right in front of me, was to, there'll be a 6-month performance interview that the city council, the mayor will perform. And then an annual evaluation interview also, and then a by-contract review that was left off of the contract, what we had discussed. And so that's what we're doing. Thank you.
Okay, so there's the motion. Okay, so we have a motion by, sorry about that, you guys. Councilperson, councilperson sounds so, council member.
Councilmember sounds
Councilmember Bocut, and then a second by Councilmember Jex. Any further discussion on that? Okay, then we'll do a roll call again.
We will. Councilmember Lewis.
Yes.
Councilmember Jex.
Yes.
Councilmember Bocut.
Yes.
Councilmember Westergaard.
Yes.
The motion passes.
Okay. Now, normally this would be the portion that we do strategic business. This is ordinances, special resolutions. This is the portion of the meeting where we open it up so that we can discuss it, and then we can invite the public up, and they get up to 10 minutes, 3 minutes apiece to discuss openly with the city council their concerns on that specific item, which works out pretty nice. And we've seen that effective. So, but we don't have any tonight, so unfortunately, we don't get to watch that work again. Let's go to the calendar. Daddy-daughter date on, or daddy-daughter dance on February 7th. Do we have a time on that?
We said 5:30, wasn't it?
Okay. And then the town hall here at 7 o'clock on the 12th. And city council, please try to put some time aside to be here for that. We'll need to post that as a meeting, and we're going to open that up for the public to ask questions, open dialogue. And one other thing I'd like to do in that meeting is show the new website and where we're headed with that so that people can see some of that progress. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah.
And get some input on where they think we should go from there.
Yeah.
Any other things?
The daddy-daughter dance is 5:30 to 7:30.
Okay, 5:30 to 7:30. Great.
Mayor?
Yeah.
I have one addition.
Uh-huh.
At the police department, we're doing a benefit fundraiser dinner on February 21st at 5 PM out at the fairgrounds. Tickets to, we got Maddox Ranch House is coming with their steaks and a few turkey steaks. Tickets are $30 a plate, and 100% goes to sending the families and department back to DC for Police Week.
You said that's the 10th?
The 21st.
How
February
did,
21st.
how
so
do
it's coming
people
up.
sign up for that?
Well, you can, I've posted on Facebook, you can, it should be going around, we'll be posting it again, and there's just a Venmo code for the Golden Spike FOP, who, that's where the funds are going into, and then pull it out from there.
Okay.
Okay. Good to know.
Seniors Center Dinner and Dance at 5:30 on the 13th. I'm going. Who else is going? I'm going to dance with my
Look
wife.
at me,
so
just because I'm there. When is it?
February 13th at the Senior Center.
Well, it's a busy.
Dinner and a dance.
7? What time, 5?
I will only do slow dances.
Don't want to hurt that hip.
This is hilarious.
I got no rhythm. Okay.
Is there a
And-
charge for that, Brett, that people need to know about?
I don't know if there's a
I wouldn't think so, but are they doing it as a fundraiser?
Yes, I think they.
Then maybe there is. We'll see it on our.
I guess we can always put it out there on the digital board and
Yeah.
other sites.
I don't see it on.
I guess on these events, if we've got pricing, let's maybe throw those up on here so we can see those, and that would be kind of nice. Okay, and we have the food drive for the food pantry on March 14th. Any other additions or things that we need to bring forward?
I can't think of anything.
Okay, great. City manager report.
You're going to skip me, and I actually have stuff today. Find something?
Tickets required, purchased ahead of time at the senior center.
$5 per person.
$5.
Oh, that's not.
And you
gonna
purchase
break
them
it.
at the senior center.
Yep.
Okay.
Tickets required.
Okay.
Okay, first of all, thank you, council, for your confidence in me. I will not let you down. Here we go. More importantly, me and Carl were talking. I think it would be a great idea to have the council go to Public Works and do a tour. I've talked with Carl. I think it would be easier if you've seen it, and then when he talks about it, like, oh, yeah, I remember him pointing that out. Whatever. So I thought it would be easier on a city council night when you guys are already planning to be here, rather than doing it a different night. We were thinking about an hour and a half. We would do it 2 hours before, just to give us like a half hour to get back here and get ready for city council meeting. Tentatively, we thought about doing it March 17th, and we hoped that maybe we could keep the work session to not start until 6 that time, so we could start at 4 down at Public Works, if that works for you guys.
Yeah, well, we've
So we
got
start at
a
4?
big discussion
We'd
on
start at
that.
4 and we would.
The hottest ticket in town.
Yeah, we'll have the discussion on the police merger thing
that
with
night?
Perry that night, but we can,
about
that's
the-
about 45 minutes, and so we'll just kind of reserve
What
that
date?
for that.
17th?
17th.
March
Oh,
17th
no,
is
no,
what-
that's the 17th of February.
Oh.
Okay, we're good.
Perfect, okay.
We're good.
That's what we thought it was enough in advance. We
Yeah.
could plan around it and
Yeah.
not have a big work session. I was gonna say something. Oh, so it would be a public meeting, of course, and we would advertise it as such and then just say we'll be on location for the first.
Does it have to be a public meeting when we're not?
Yeah, 'cause
We're
you're
not
all
making decisions and
Together as a quorum.
I.
Yeah, you're not. It's just
according to that-
information
According
only.
to that law, I don't think it needs to be set up as one,
That would
because
be
we're not discussing
okay,
business
yeah.
and it's just a get
For
together.
information.
Or just a tour?
Yeah.
Would we?
We'll just have to make sure that we don't inadvertently
Yeah,
conduct
talk
any
business.
business.
Yeah, and I'll make sure we don't.
What was that, Cynthia?
I said it might be better just to notice it so we're covered.
Okay.
I don't think it hurts.
Either
yeah,
way.
to notice it and then,
Well, you're doing one anyway, right? Yeah.
yeah,
Sure. why
yeah,
not?
it'll just say it'll start at 4 at Public Works.
Okay.
So, one other thing, Cynthia sent out an email just barely earlier today, so I don't know if you've seen it. We have a billboard on southbound I-84. Currently looks like that.
Holy
Yeah,
cow.
so the reason this came up, Cynthia was reached out to by the state. We had a lease with Wendell Pedersen for this billboard. It expired in 2023. So we don't currently have a lease, and UDOT needs us to have a lease. So we reached out to the Pedersen family. Wendell has passed away, so we're dealing with his sons. Is that correct? Okay, yeah, we're working with his sons to get a new lease in place. But we thought maybe we bring this to you first before we bring that new lease. Is this a billboard you want to keep? It's been IHC that we've allowed, or sorry, Intermountain Health, that we've allowed to use this billboard we started in 2017 and they had it 8 years prior to that. So it's been them advertising on our billboard for 20 years, whatever. But yeah, we allowed them in 2017 to change the sign copy, which I think is this one. But now you can see almost 9 years later, it's disintegrated. And so our question is, do we want to keep the billboard? Do we want to ask IHC I keep calling it IHC, Intermountain Health, if they want to put a new one up? Do we want to put a sign copy up? Just so you know, the lease in the past since 1984 is when we've had this lease. The last 10 years at least, it's been $1,000 a year is what we've paid Wendell to use, or I should say Mr. Pedersen to use this part of his property for this billboard. His sons have asked that to increase to $3,000 a year and then increase by inflation as per the CPI every year for the next 10. So that's what they're requesting. That's what we would bring before you. But yeah, when Cynthia drove by today and saw that that's what's left of the sign right now, we have maybe some bigger decisions of what we want to do with
Where's it
that.
at, Cynthia?
It's somewhere right here.
On I-84.
Right before the off-ramp.
Oh, okay.
After the McDonald's off-ramp on the way to Idaho.
Oh, so I drive by it every day and I didn't know it.
Not the northbound, it's the
$1,000 a year
southbound.
for Intermountain Health
Yes,
to
it would be
advertise on
before.
our board.
I said that.
Basically, yeah. Because we asked, we're like, have we ever like charged Intermountain? And not that we know of. I think it's just we've paid the $1,000 and yeah, then let them use it. They were also the ones who paid for the new sign copy. We didn't pay for that. We just pay for the lease, but.
But we all get a free MRI.
How far down there? Yeah.
But it's going west?
It's
Oh, yeah.
right here on the south.
Found I-84.
Before the McDonald's exit.
Oh, that one.
Oh,
Yeah. But yeah, right now it looks absolutely terrible. But we have to have a lease in place, or I guess an option is we could take it down. It's our billboard. We could remove it if we don't want it at all and don't want to pay the lease anymore.
I'd love to put some of our new branding up on that in the
Yeah.
City of Connections, and I think we could do a lot with that, but I don't have a vote.
I can tell you, like, billboards nowadays is expensive. I mean, like 25 grand a month when you're getting closer down.
Well, and this
it's-
is ours, so I don't know
Yeah.
that we would pay month, it would just
No,
be the.
I'm just
lease.
saying.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay.
They're expensive, so if there's an opportunity for us to advertise something that is beneficial to us, this is a cheap way to do it.
I do remember seeing in the resolution, I think Intermountain Health, when they did the new sign copy in 2017, I thought it was 30 grand, is that what I saw, to do
Are there any?
sign copy? So that could be,
Really?
Are there any companies we could sublease it to that, would, you know, it'd be revenue for us plus it brings economy,
yeah.
you know, to one of our
I
local
had
businesses.
thought it was a different sign going northbound I-84. There's one for Procter and Gamble that's advertising on a billboard.
Yep.
And yeah,
Seems
we've
like-
allowed Intermountain Health to do it for
Or maybe
the
like
last
Polaris,
20 years.
Why don't you look into
or,
that?
you know, one of our businesses that could use
Yeah.
the.
Would they be
Yeah,
okay
'cause-
with this subleasing it? in
That's
the
what we're doing
lease?
right now, I think, with
This sign we
Intermountain.
can, the other billboard we can.
Oh, that's right.
This one
Okay.
we can't.
UDOT is particular on, yeah, this one doesn't have to be
It can be
city
used for
specific.
advertising.
Yeah. I would suggest you still put our logo on it somewhere, but just like Intermountain Health
I
did.
think it's a good
but-
place to put some advertisement. Get off the freeway, people.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
You know where we are here, because, you know, you're locked and you're going. You don't even notice. You don't even take a second thought that Tremont's here, so.
yeah, even if somebody Polaris up your thing, but it's Tremont on top,
Yeah.
Tremont City or something. Just
Yeah, which I don't know if you could tell from that sign. It
Would
did
put
have
a
our
name.
logo and Intermountain Health's logo by each other, and it was like healthy living together, or happier and healthier together, so.
Oh, okay.
So it was nice in its heyday, but yeah, it's not so much now. And I haven't reached out to Intermountain Health. I don't know if I'm kind of surprised they haven't come to us and said, oops, our sign looks terrible. I don't know.
You know, what would it cost to get something put on there if we wanted to brand
Look
it as
up-
a city?
Because we had a quote from Yesco when we allowed the
So we'd
hospital to
paint the
put
poles
their. Let's
That could
see,
be
it
a
was
neat
1740.
Eagle Scout project, probably.
Does it look like there's lights, power to it?
Yeah, there's 3 lights. Whether they work or not, I don't know.
But that looks bad.
That one's not bad. If you can see the mountain good through that.
For crying out loud.
Oh, that was something else I was looking at. I think that was our billboards
This
that we
view, huh?
replaced.
Yeah.
Look at that one.
Welcome.
Picturesque.
Welcome to.
We're growing.
Mountain. Well, you can see
Healthcare on there. Healthier.
billboards. And we could look at getting a quote from Yesco or somebody if you were interested. Let's see. So we replaced the signs on I-15 and SR 13 back in 2020, February of 2020. And Yesco at that point quoted us. Well, when I can get there. Okay. So this was to install. One of the signs was oh, maybe that was the total, 60 grand? That was for two. But yeah, it's not.
Still though, I think maybe a business would be willing to jump in on that. That's a really good location for, traffic, and I just think maybe it'd be a double-edged sword or it'd be a double win.
birds.
Yeah. For us.
And I think we could just allow them, it looks like, and give them the permission to go to Yesco or whatever, buy their own sign, and we just pay the lease every year on the property.
Sublease the space.
Yeah, because the sign's owned by us, it's just whoever is on the signed copy is.
Well, and I agree, we ought to do a cost analysis and just see if we have a business and, bringing them into town, is that going to benefit the town? We could have a little we could have a Tremonton logo on there with our connection and, yeah. But I like where you're going with that. If we can promote some business in town too, that would be nice.
In that location, I think anything would be great.
All right, well, let's put
Yeah,
together.
okay.
Do you want to do some reaching out to some people and see if they're potentially interested? And then if you'll put together some pricing from Yesco or something, and then we can at least.
I think we'd allow the company to do that, whoever was my thought,
Unless we do it ourselves.
unless we do it ourselves, yeah. Yeah, I could reach out to Yesco and
Yeah,
get
maybe
it.
then we
Just-
have both options.
Yeah, just figure out.
And then I don't know how
Would you mind emailing me pictures of that? Thank you.
pressing UDOT is right now about our lease, or if we can figure all this out before we sign a new lease, but
Well,
been 3 years.
I think we sign a lease.
I think we are okay with signing the lease, okay.
But that's up to you guys.
And you're okay with it's a little increased price, but it's, like I said, $3,000 a year, and then inflation from CPI increasing it every year, so.
But
Just trying to think.
did we need to agenda this item for next time?
Yes, yeah, this was just me coming to you and saying, what do you want me to do first? And then we already have, well, we'll have legal look over it, but the family kind of made some changes to the contract
Okay.
that they'd like to see. So we can bring that back to you next time and have the lease signed at least, and then go from there to figure out
Great.
what we do for the signed copy, so. Oh, sorry, that was all I had.
Okay. Very good. Well,
My mind's reeling now. There's a lot of good ideas.
Oh, good.
there is. There is. Okay, we need to go into a closed meeting I'm going to read the legal jargon. I will accept a motion to go into closed session for the purpose of A, discussing the character, professional competence, or physical or mental health of an individual. B, strategy session to discuss pending or reasonable imminent litigation. Or C, strategy session to discuss the purchase, exchange, or lease of real property.
You need to state which specific one we're going.
We're going to go into A, discussing the character, professional competency, or physical or mental health of an individual.
I'll make a motion. We go into closed session.
We have a motion
I second it.
and a second by Councilman Westergaard. We don't need a roll call on that, do we? Okay, all those in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Those opposed, say no. Okay, thank you.